Okay, so I guess that I'm live. It's quite an unusual feeling. And you can hear me, I think. Can you hear me? No, I think you can hear me a little bit, but yeah. There's one person, yeah. Who's that person? Well, hello, whoever. Well, might be me. But whoever it is, hello. Yeah, not really sure what to do. And person's gone. Okay, so it was someone. Okay. So I have no idea who that person was. That didn't go, but I guess. Okay. So I'll just wait around and see if anyone else wants to hop on. And I'm just going to do some drawing whilst I wait. Yeah. So I did a bit of a drawing earlier. It's a bit dark. It kind of represents my art space. And sort of the egg is my heart. Yeah, I can get more into that once some people are on, or in my next video, around some of the changes I've been having inside. But, yeah. So there is no one yet. Okay, so I've had a few people see this video. How many? 20 people. Yeah. So I think I'll stay on for maybe half an hour and then kind of see how it goes. And after half an hour, if no one's come on, then I will end the video. But in the meantime, I'm gonna drop into my body and visualize how the heart space first transformed, and start trying to get that out on paper. I find it helps me kind of process, and it just helps me get clarity on it and get things out of my head. and onto paper or into the body. Hello, whoever that is. I don't know how I can see who that is. I was just dropping into my body to visualize some of the changes my heart space has been going through, so I can get it down on paper. So it's had a couple transformations this week. If you want to say hello in the chat box, and if you have any questions, I'd love to hear. Yeah. And they've gone. Hello. Thank you for joining me on this live. It's the first live I've ever done, so I'm still trying to figure it out. Sort of what to say, where to go. And I have been waiting for people to join, but I might just start talking and saying where I'm at. It feels quite strange not knowing who's watching and talking to an audience that's might not even be there. Just out of curiosity, do you know me personally? Have you been following my channel? Did you just click on this randomly? Just quite interested to hear how you came about this live video. If you feel comfortable, leave me a comment or saying something. Maybe not. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining me either way. I don't know what to say. Yeah, so it's been quite a good week already. Celebrated my my 1 year sobriety yesterday, which is actually a bigger deal than I thought. So I went to sleep on Monday night thinking, oh, it's fine, like it's not actually that big of a deal. It's like it's just going to be another day because it's come around quite quickly, and but yeah, and then woke up and I was like, oh my god, I can remember where I was 1 year ago. I still can. I think it'll be tomorrow. A year ago, I went into rehab, and the amount my life has changed has been incredible. And I'm going to go to a meeting tonight to pick up my 1 year chip, as well as offer myself as a sponsor, and also say a few things to the room, which I brought up in one of my other videos, but I think they won't be welcomed with open arms. I should say that. There might be some concerns from people thinking, oh, who is this person to say this and that? Excuse me. But the honesty is, I'm saying these things because it's what I believe in, and it's what I believe to be true. And if anyone does want me to be their sponsor, I want them to see me for the reasons why I want to be seen, not just because I've been through the program and have a year clean time, and they just want that. I want them to want more from life than just to be sober, and that's what I'm offering as a sponsor, is for people to have more life than anything. Thank you, Jackie. Hey, you came from Tiffany's channel. I'm in the USA. Most people may be at work and will view later. I'm proud of watching you owning up to where you were and excited for your journey ahead. Oh, thank you very much, Jackie. I really appreciate you leaving a comment or saying something and letting me know who it is. Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that will be at work or going to work this early in the morning. So I'm still trying to find a time that works best for everyone. I might change them still on Wednesday. Next, now I have some weekends off. I might do one every other week in the evening, on a Saturday or some evening. But I might also, oh, hello, new person. Yeah, the most participants I've ever had on a live is 2. So congratulations for doubling my score. I was just chatting to Jackie about the live videos and when they could be sort of aired, or when I could go live and when would be the best time. So I'm wondering if either of you two have any ideas on what times would work best for you. And whilst you're thinking about that, I'll continue on with what I was saying earlier about going to the meeting tonight and getting a sponsee. I was basically just saying that I want a potential sponsee to come and ask me to be their sponsor because they want more from life than just to get sober and live day by day. I want them to have a real eagerness and desire to live life to its fullest whilst still remaining sober. And I know there will be a lot of people in the room tonight being concerned and thinking, why are you trying to change something that's been proven to work for decades? That's the big book. But I think that's the big book is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's your Bible. People read it. People read it every single day. They live by it. Is that? Hi, Gigi. Thank you very much for coming over from Tiff's channel. I appreciate it. As I'm sure you both know, we're going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment. So just to openly own my own stuff, I have been in my past a bit of a womanizer. I have slept around, manipulated, lied to, cheated, done everything you can think imaginable to women. Fortunately, I've never taken it to the physical realm when I've been with Tiff, but I have welcomed in sort of bad energy into the relationship and talked to other people about inappropriate things. And I haven't completely been so honest or kind of true to her, which is why she basically she'd had enough. Something happened on the flight home. One of the air hostesses was basically just walking up and down the aisle, always looking up, also basically checking me out. And then she leans in and says, I have the most incredible eyes. And I'm a bit just shocked, like, okay, thanks. And then she goes back, I chat to her again. She gives me her details. And I ended up looking her up and never messaged her, never did anything. I think the thing that was stopping me was knowing that it was wrong and feeling guilty about it. But then I told Tiff about that, and we'd already left on not the best of terms. That kind of just pushed her over the edge. And luckily, she still considered actually just going on a break instead of completely breaking up, which I really appreciate. And I think her terms were that after 28 days, if she hasn't seen any substantial kind of work on myself or any change, then we're done. So that kind of gave me the nudge forward I needed to pull my socks up and really start digging deeper instead of just allowing whatever's kind of near the surface to come out during my coaching sessions, to really focus in on what happens when I like a woman, how I act towards them, sort of what are things I do and don't do, why I do them, and really go deep into that. Sort of, it's really straightforward. I had a brilliant call with one of the master coaches a few days after we broke up, and I just hand straight up in the call. Thankfully, the first person to be called on. I owned up, said, "Yeah, I've did all this as I just said. I have a long history of lying to women. I want your help." He's telling me what I need to do. And he said, "Okay, it looks like you need to do a lot of inner child work," which I've been doing and loving it, and some parent wound healing, which I haven't done as much of because I'm focusing more on the inner child and my heart space. So when I first talked to one of the faculty members about my heart space, I referred to it as my chest. I didn't actually think my heart. I just said most of my life had been run from down kind of below my rib cage. And I'd always go to there to feel what feels right, what I want to do. And it just got me into feeling sort of unconditional love from an old pet of mine, my first ever dog. And I got that feeling to start off nice and small and then just sort of grow and try and basically just make it bigger and bigger and try and allow it to fill my body, which I didn't fill my body, but it filled kind of from shoulder to shoulder, which was really beautiful. And then I've been doing a lot of work around my heart space. It started off as a stone egg, which I actually showed earlier on in the video, but it was just this egg, and like impenetrable stone, couldn't get through anything. And then just now before this video, I went in and dropped into my body, and I was planning on destroying just the egg. Then I decided to watching that visual came to mind, just a black road and like a old apocalyptic sort of world, the burnt out sky, and a lamppost shining directly on the egg to my heart, and I'm doing that, and then it transformed a session or two after that from a stone impenetrable egg to a beautiful silver kind of shiny egg with some jewelry around it, which I was about to start drawing now. And then it transformed again to like a. So instead of opening like this, it started opening like that. And then out the front came like a patch of just green grass with some colourful flowers on it. And just imagine myself sort of walking out onto them and just being present on those flowers and feeling them in my feet and kind of feeling more peaceful instead of a war going on around my heart and in my heart. Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of where my heart's at the moment. And I am very grateful for Tiff basically saying we have 28 days. So one, obviously, sort of still having the opportunity to get back together, and to really giving myself time and space to do the inner work and actually start to change inside, which I can feel already. Like I love visualizing what's happening inside me, and yeah, so I'm beginning to tap more into my artistic side and kind of allow things to flow through. Because for years I never used to be able to draw anything apart from what was in black and white. Bear with me a second, I'll show you my old sketchbook. So I got this thing about 14 years ago, maybe a bit more, 15 years ago. Yeah, I got this when I was 11 years old and just about to go to school. So it's all pretty basic stuff. It's all kind of just things like that. Things like fire, drawing, and then I think the first thing I probably started to draw. A little bit of colour there. Yeah, I saw someone else do something like that, and I thought it'd be cool. Yeah, here we go. So I started to actually draw, this would have been 13 years ago. I started off doing just tribal art, and then so started off just like that, basically just finding things, a picture online, and then from looking at the computer, copying it just by freehand. And I've got a few of them. There's a old tiger's head. And then these ones. These are all done freehand, just visualizing the computer. And then some of my favorite ones are these. There's a little squirrel and a dragon and a wolf. And then there's a Charmander and Bulbasaur. And then let's just one that I can read. And that one I actually created on my own. Caterpillar. Anyway, so the reason I was saying this is because, as you can see, I never used to draw in colour. Up until a year ago, actually. Very close to a year ago, just under. And the shift actually happened in rehab. So I took this into rehab, I drew that. It's my first drawing. Got a couple of drawings which I gave to friends. That's the second one. They asked me to draw for them. That's the third. That's Rose. These are all done just freehand. Looking at pictures and thinking about what I like. There's another little squirrel. I try to draw Squirtles, whatever it's called. But anyway, so I kept drawing these things, getting into it, and I tried to picture my addiction monster would look like, and looked at this, but then kind of got to thinking, I was like, okay, that doesn't make scary. It's not really what I'm thinking. I felt I was kind of coming out of the void, and then one night, I can't remember what happened. The mind just started going, and instead of running from it and shoving it down or ignoring it, I really stayed with that visualization. And I had at least 6 or 7 people coming in and just checking in on me, saying, "Rex, are you all right? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Just so I really just focused in and just shut everyone else out, so I can get this, down on paper and really capture what it was. So then I could always say F you to whenever he came up again, because the amount of times I've felt and heard this this being, this gremlin, this whatever you want to call it, on my shoulder. And especially after some clean time, I'd hear him saying, "Oh, go and get one, go and have one," and just niggling away and putting thoughts in my head. And I could never win the battle of fighting that. But once I drew him down on paper, as you can see, so the little gremlin with no mouth, evil eyes, kind of wizard's hat, kind of boots on. But as soon as I got him down on paper, I started to have some. Well, the next day in the process group, I was quite silent. My hands were doing that. I was pushing on my palms, and the therapist said, "Actually, is everything all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. And I didn't even know this. She said, "All right, go and do you have a jacket or something you can hold tight because your body wants to tell you to do something. Your body's telling you your hands need to move and need to press. There's something that wants to come out through movement." So I thought, okay, I'll try it. So my friend gave me his jacket, put it in my hands, was squeezing it hard together, and then shut my eyes, just stayed with it, and a thought popped into head. I was like, yes, surely can't be that because it's quite a deep, dark, suppressed memory. And then, no, surely it's not that. But then, so I tried to run away from it, try to get back into my body, and it kept coming back. So I was like, okay, this is probably it. And then, so okay, I'm going to try and get it to come to surface. But then I felt this kind of it's red and sort of orange, yellowy, fiery ball inside me, just coming up and then going down, and then coming up and down, up and down, and really struggling to actually bring it up and move it out. I was just wanting to stay down. And then I told the therapist that. She said, "Okay, what's that memory?" And it took me ages to actually bring it up and eventually say it. And this is what the ball looked like. So it looked like that, and it was massive internal struggle trying to bring it up and allow it to be released. And then the craziest thing happened when I actually said it. I was expecting myself to bawl out in tears, but only a little tear came out, and I really had to fight to let that memory be seen. And then the craziest thing happened after that. I felt this sort of kind of explosion inside me of just this pure white energy, and on the rim of it was kind of like a light blue, kind of just pushing everything out, kind of just pushing this whiteness into my entire body and just spreading through. And it kind of looked like that. Which was so these are the first kind of 2 times that I'd ever seen sort of colors inside my body, and being able to kind of bring them out in an artistic way. And then the next day in meditation, we went in, and it was the rainforest or something, and I visualized my happy place. That was in a rainforest, near a river, by a waterfall, looking over at the sunset, and I could see it as clear as day. I thought, okay, I want to draw that. I want to actually get this down on paper. Didn't get it down exactly as I wanted to be. I spent a couple of days just getting that down. And from going from absolutely no color to so much vibrant color is unreal for me. And even today, and I had another, I can't remember what this one was. I had another somatic kind of moving around in treatment. I don't know what it was there. Yeah, I use these techniques a lot of the time when I'm actually coaching clients as well. When I'm coaching clients and I get them to drop into their body and let me know if there are any colors or or things moving around, and sort of guiding them to allow them to be released and have a kind of basically be heard. So I did some work with one of my coaches yesterday around some abandonment issues as a child, and came in, and as I dropped into the child's body and was really present there, my head started to spin, and this coach was incredible. She said, "What does the dizziness want to say?" And I suddenly, instead of just the world spinning around me, I suddenly saw words and things flying around me in my head. So I started speaking all of those, and the dizziness kind of slowed down, and got really connected with Rex, or little Rex. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing, the work I've been doing and will continue doing around my inner child work, and how it's beginning to change how I show up for the world and how I see the world and how I connect with the world. Even my trio friends, the two girls, they even said my aura's kind of shifted. I think they say that every week. So I'm not sure if they're just saying that to be nice, or if I am actually making substantial shifts every week that they're noticing. But either way, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I'm doing and how far I've come. And I'm quite interested to see how this evening goes, and how my viewpoint on this whole thing will affect or will be taken or seen. And so I've got, I think, 3 points I wanted to say. Hello, number 3. Welcome to me. I was just going into saying what I'm going to be saying at my CA meeting tonight, because I know it is quite, what's the right word? Really taboo, but it's not really advised that, I'll say it's frowned upon. Not the right word, but it kind of gets the point across, to basically do anything other than what the big book says. And basically that is law, and you have to do everything by the book, which I strongly disagree with, because that should be taken with a pinch of salt. Yes, it's brilliant to get you to where you need to be, but there's more to life than just meetings. I've even helped my sponsor out by beginning to live more of life instead of just going meeting to meeting and getting addicted to those. I've also been thinking a lot about something that was mentioned on a video, or one of the course material I've been studying 2 weeks ago. Yeah, she said that addiction is trauma-based, too much, too fast, and too soon, and it's basically a survival strategy. It's a survival strategy that develops to numb ourselves, to feel something different, or to self-soothe, which I'm going to relate to more and more. And also that if I'm working with a sponsee, or anyone else here is working with friends or clients or whatever, and that person's just trying to change their behavior, it's not going to work. You need to get down to the root of it. And this really resonates with me, because I try to stop on my own 4 or 5 times, maybe more, just by deleting the numbers, not going out to the pubs, just changing my behavior. But it never lasted. For it to have a lasting change, I needed to go into rehab. I needed to go and speak to some therapists and really understand where it all began. I got a bit of an understanding. I've still got a lot more to cover. That's what I'm going to be doing on this course, is unearthing a lot more, getting down to more of the roots. And so basically where I'm getting at is addiction is trauma-based, and it's argued that it can be biological. And yes, it can be. But I'm beginning to believe that because trauma can be passed down and through ancestral genes, you may inherit that from an ancestor through some of their trauma that they went through and get it in that way. And I think I had a lot of trauma as a child. I think I inherited some as well. I'm not saying I'll never be able to drink again or even want to drink again, but I'm saying that I will be able to heal the bad parts of my addiction and utilize the gifts that it has given me. The gifts that if I want something bad enough, I will do everything in my power to get it, which I used to use that in rehab. I was addicted to getting sober, so I used every ounce of me that I had, and basically took it all into there. I'm using that now to continue the work inwards and dig deeper, unearth as much as I can, and really begin to understand myself and not judge myself for what I do. Instead, understand it and begin to give myself a bit of compassion. So I think tonight should be quite interesting. If I don't get a sponsor, I don't. If I do, then we shall see where you can go. And as I said earlier, I want to be asked to be a sponsor for what I believe in now, not just what I can offer them. But yeah. So I've got a lot to get on with tonight, and some more studying to do this week. We've got an integration this week. So we usually don't have a training call, but they uploaded a video to basically for us to watch and learn watching treating trauma in action, or working with trauma, how to release it, how to kind of guide someone through it. Excuse me. Just out of curiosity, any questions around what I've just been saying? Anything else you'd like me to go deeper into? I hope so. Jackie Sullivan said that I hope fascinating isn't a poor choice of words on my part, but the association with feelings, actual colors, and emotional releases. Yeah, I absolutely find it fascinating as well. Thank you for bringing that up, Jackie. So for years and years, I just felt numb. I really couldn't connect with any emotion. Occasionally, I'd feel something kind of like a force energy just building up, and I just don't know how. I just shove it down, push, build up, and just shove it down. And I would never allow myself to feel. And it was literally just a wave of energy kind of filling my body up, and I would just shove it down and try and be rid of it. And I think that my body and my brain knew that I was in a safe space. I was constantly being encouraged to express myself and basically allow myself to be seen, and I think beginning to really tell the truth about where my addiction had taken me, the things I'd done, people I hurt, and actually start owning my own things, my own stuff. And again, just telling the truth. It began to allow my body to know that it was ready to start feeling some emotions. And I think that's where so that intuition, those colors came through. To basically, those are all big emotions. My body was finally ready to actually release them and deal with them, because our bodies and brains are incredibly smart and will keep something locked away for decades if necessary, until we're ready for it to be released, as I had in rehab. The colors, when I first saw the colors, I had no idea what they were. I was just saying what I felt in my body, and actually saying, yeah, I felt this. I can feel this red kind of ball, fiery ball moving around inside me. It wants to come out. I have no idea what it was. And then, so after it, I get back and I go draw this. I think, no, that's not what it was. And then I drew this as well for the blue one, which doesn't give it justice. And then sat down again and I drew this red fiery ball and showed my mum. And she said, that's a chakra. I was like, oh, what? And he said, yeah, that's like a chakra to me. I was like, okay, what the hell's a chakra? So I lit them up and I found that the red color, a red chakra, your not your crown, your sacral chakra, that's the one. It deals with survival, and it is blocked by fear. So for me, that fear was coming around actually admitting to what I'd done and allowing that memory to be expressed and be seen and be heard. That survival instinct was allowing my brain and my body to survive by suppressing it and holding it down. So then the orange one deals with pleasure and is blocked by grief. And for years and years, I was seeking pleasure through women, through drugs, through alcohol, through distractions, just like even watching TV, countless, and staying up till God knows how many hours in the morning watching TV. So I was blocked by guilt of what I'd done, and I could never really have pleasure in myself. I always had to seek it outside, which I'm getting better at, seeking pleasure in myself and being happy and just content with where I am. And then the yellow one was shame, which deals with willpower. So I was having a real strong willpower to both hold it down and bring it up. And the shame was trying to keep it down. So I was using the willpower to kind of bring it up and allow it to be sort of seen and expressed and heard. How you doing, Bart? Thank you for joining me. I was just talking about a somatic release I had in rehab through a chakra that I felt inside my body, but I never really knew what it was. And then once those sort of feelings and words had been kind of actually vocalized and heard by a room full of people, I mentioned I saw that blue color. So that blue explosion kind of going through my body and kind of filling up my just body with just relaxation and just peacefulness. That was from basically blue deals with the truth, but it's blocked by lies. And because I died for so many years about what I'd done and just pushed it down, I lied to myself, lied to people, and I think that was the first time I honestly told the truth without any intentions of getting something back for myself. And just having that explosion inside was awakening. And it was that moment that it all shifted. I thought, okay, I'm like, this is actually doing some real work, and I'm actually unearthing a lot of stuff that's stuck inside. And I want to take people through that. I want to give people that same experience that I had and same relief. And yeah, I'm going to be. I'd originally planned to be focused more around sort of addicts, but I found there's a lot more resistance than I expected. I think there's a lot more fear around doing too much, too fast, too soon that's holding them back in place. And I understand where they're coming from completely, because when I came out of rehab, I was planning on milking the fact that I'm in recovery and basically saying to them, yeah, I'm in recovery. If I need extra days off, that's why I have to take them. I can't do this. But luckily, a therapist asked me straight up, what's the reason for telling your job that you're in recovery? I said, so if I need extra days off, then I can have them. So then she pointed out the fact that I'll be milking it, which I thought was quite funny and quite eye-opening. But I will say it isn't for everyone to be able to seize the world and grab it by the horns and basically just take on as much as they can. So I have to find the right balance, and I'm seeking out energetically and physically the kind of people that do want more from life and want to do their own work so they can attract in better people into their life, more energetic, kind of purities, and people who uplift them. Because for years and years, I surrounded myself with people that kind of brought me down, and I always felt like I had to either lift them up or just lower myself down to their level. And I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going in here in a straight line, and I'm on this path. I can feel myself moving forward to this path. I want people to come in and join me on that same trajectory instead of trying to put a barrier in front of me and stop me going through it. Say, no. I'm happy with you here. Do not go past here. This is where I want you. I'm like, no, go away. I'm going around. I even had a friend cancel on me for golf yesterday morning, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm still treating myself. I'm still going out, enjoying myself. No one's gonna kind of bring me down, which I never used to do before. I would have just used that. Sort of taken it to heart and thought, oh, okay, he's lying to me. Yeah, he just doesn't want to play with me anymore. My mind would have gone, instead of just thinking, okay, something came up at work. It's out of your control. It's okay. Before I would have gone angry and never expressed that anger, just shoved it down and gone numb. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else to talk about. Do any of you guys have any questions or any areas you'd like me to go a bit deeper into? And thank you, Jackie, for bringing up the emotional association with feelings, actual colors, and emotional releases. Yes, I've had a couple of them. Another one which I'm still need to find someone I feel comfortable enough with to work with around rage. So I never express anger or rage or anything. I need to find someone who I feel safe enough to contain it. That being said, I did express I expressed quite a lot of emotion on the golf course. Lots of joy, some anger. didn't hit any clubs or anything there. Just a bit of shouting. So I'm beginning to tap into it. I do need to unlock that door. Yeah. I think. Yeah, and then I'll post another video on Sunday, and I'll include how it goes tonight, whether I get a sponsee or not. It's more the work I'm doing, so I've got another call with a faculty member on Friday, which I'm really looking forward to. What else have I got? Yeah, so I'm also looking forward to kind of sharing with her how much my heart space has changed in such a short period of time. Because I think it was only last week or something. The last week or the week before. And anyway, with the same coach that I'm going back to, she dropped me into my heart space, and I didn't know it was my heart space. Basically, she said, "Where in your body do decisions come from?" So I pointed below my ribs. I said, "Okay, so you got," and asked me if I ever felt any unconditional love. And I was like, honestly, I don't think so. And she got me to remember I had a pet, and I felt loved by the pet, and I knew I could love her as well. Her name was Dottie. And then I got into that feeling I had in my heart when I remembered our best memory together. And I basically defined that as my chest instead of my heart. So she thought that was quite interesting. So disassociated with my heart that I described it as my chest. And then got me to fill it up and then use an NLP technique to basically reconnect with it at any point during the day when I'm feeling a bit down or lost or just want to connect. I can quickly connect back to it. So in every session after that, whenever I've dropped into the heart space with inner child, I've used that technique to get there more quickly so I can do the work nice and fast. And instead of spending half an hour trying to get back into that heart space, I've got this little shortcut in so I can start doing some deep work. And it went from like a solid stone impenetrable egg. Then it changed to before it was nothing. Then it went to the egg. Then it went to a solid, like kind of silver, really shiny, really mirroring egg with some silver kind of jewelry around the top of it, almost like a crown. And then in the most recent session, it changed from that to an egg that had like a quarter of lengthways slice chopped out and like a small kind of patch of grass with some flowers on it leading out from the egg. And I have such a large, it may not seem big to you, but to me it's huge. I have such an amazing transformation in such a short amount of time, going from not even being able to connect with my heart to having this impenetrable egg that doesn't allow anyone in, to having an egg that has a beautiful patch of sunny grass outside it and an open door that just allows consistent check-ins, and like almost like the defenses are near completely down. So there's still the egg, there's still a bit of protection there, but he's no longer afraid to come into the world, and he, meaning my inner child, no longer afraid to be seen and kind of be heard and really be connected with. So I check in with him every morning by staring into my eyes in the mirror and seeing how he's doing and making a few promises and seeing what he wants. And a little way for me to know that if little Rex is desiring something, my heart will get a small pain in my heart, on my chest. And then I'll check in and think, okay, what are you desiring in this moment? As well as if I feel like I'm doing something and heart thinks no, basically my heart starts to hurt, then I think, okay, no, this is the wrong thing to do, even if it's just a thought. Like I think if I want to be naughty and I want to have a thing of ice cream, my heart will think, no, don't do that. That's my inner child saying no. It's going to make you feel like absolute rubbish. Don't go and do that. Do what's going to make you feel good about yourself. Speaking of which, I had some tangerines somewhere. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. Any questions or anything? Anyone? Also, just to like to say thank you to everyone who is watching now and stayed on the video. I appreciate your support, and it feels nice to actually speak to people that I know are watching instead of just a blank screen. As when I post this video, you'll see me at the beginning, kind of just pottering about. Yeah, so I'll keep the video going for a bit of time. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, as well as if you're watching the replay. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment, and I will either reply back to them this on Sunday or leave a comment as well. About any plans of having classes online on how to express oneself in classes in person. Oh, that's quite good. I hadn't actually thought about doing any classes online. So at the moment, I'm trying to sort of build up my client base. Having a bit of difficulty doing that, to be completely honest, because I feel that I realized this earlier today, that I feel that when I'm doing them for free, I can't push them as hard out of fear of them leaving, because they have no incentive to stay. So there's a bit of a internal dilemma going on there. But about your suggestion of having classes online on how to express oneself, or classes in person, that's actually a very good point, because I know men do have a lot of issue kind of expressing themselves, and we don't really feel like we're allowed to. This is just my point of view. Some other people might feel similar, but I never felt I could express myself, and it took me to be pretty much broken and in the right container to be able to freely express myself and feel heard and seen and not judged. I'm not judged by myself, more importantly. So that's the big thing for a lot of men, is we have an emotion. There might not be anyone around. You start to feel that emotion. It starts to come up. Our eyes start to water. First thing we do is, nope, I cannot cry. I'm a man. If we do not cry, I'm strong. I can get through this. And really, just with every ounce of us, start to shove it down and just pull it down. Then what happens there is, the more we do that, the less emotion it takes to build up and overflow. That's why a lot of people are angry, because they don't express themselves. So I want to use this visual. I'll have this then. So you use this visualization. So imagine there's an empty bottle of water, okay? And you fill up the bottle, and so it's about this full. So that there is a bit of an emotion. So if you shake it, it's going to come up, and you shake it enough, it will come out, and then the bottle's empty. So then once it's empty, you're free. Okay, and now at half full, you'll have to shake it a bit less for it to start coming out. And then it's going to take less and less water to fill the bottle up. Now I want you to imagine you've got a bottle that's near full, and if you shake that thing, it's going to explode. It's going to fly out everywhere. I want you to imagine that bottle there having a tiny little gap full, and this water, by the way, is your emotions. So something else comes in and tries to fill you up again with your emotions, put some more emotion in you, and you're overflowing. You don't have to shake the bottle, you're overflowing. And that gap of thing is your range of tolerance. That's how much you can kind of take in before you do explode. And stuck emotions force you to have less and less tolerance to until you explode. That wasn't explained in the best detail, but that's only the second time using that analogy, so I need to get a bit more clarity in myself on that. But I appreciate you listening and hearing me ramble on. But you get the kind of gist of it, that I'll put it simply, if we have a lot of emotion stuck inside our body, it's a lot less kind of arousal before we explode. Whereas if we have no stuck emotions, we're free-flowing beings, because motion is energy in motion. So, basically everything's moving around. It's all being expressed openly and calmly and peacefully. And it doesn't always have to be peaceful. It can be screaming your head off and crying your eyes out and just allowing whatever's coming up to come up and be expressed freely with no judgment. Then you can regulate yourself a lot quicker, and you no longer get tips over the edge over small things. But thank you, Bart, for that idea of having classes online, because that is quite a good and interesting. Because I was thinking about starting up a men's group for the CA members on Thursday nights. But I'm not too sure if they'll be open to that. So maybe I could do a men's group online. I could do, actually. Yeah, so I'll be interested in, if you just want to leave a comment or it's a comment on the video after this, if you would be interested in doing it, having like a men's group on one day of the week where you can come in and ask me some questions and sort of try to understand yourself a little bit better. We can do it as one big group on Zoom. That'd be quite a good. So you've jogged a thought in my mind, but so I'll have a think about it and I'll try and set something up. We could do it like once a week and do like a 2-hour session long, coming in and just talking about where you are and how you're really feeling inside, and how ways in which you can learn to kind of express yourself. Both trying to get out of saying the good and the bad emotions, because they're all good. They all deserve a place. They all have the rightful place. It's an old mindset of mine saying they're bad emotions. But allowing a place for you to express all of your emotions. I think that's good. Anyone else have any questions or ideas or? So I think I will wait a couple more minutes and I'll leave it there. But I will, by the time I record the video for this week, I will have come up with the idea of roughly a time and place to do the men's group, or even female group, or anyone who's struggling to express themselves and allow themselves to be heard. I would love to work with you guys and allow you to start to really express yourself and feel into your body and listen to your body's and desires and what it truly wants. Because your body is wise, and your body will tell you what you need before you even know. Yeah. So yeah, I've gone over an hour. It's pretty happy for my first ever live. Got high of 4 participants at one point, which was pretty good. Honestly, a lot more than I ever thought. I really appreciate the people who stayed on. Thank you, Bart, Gigi, and Jackie. And thank you, Jackie, for coming on first. Thank you then, Gigi and Bart, for all commenting and allowing me to see who's watching and asking some really, really brilliant questions. So, if there aren't any questions or anything else, I think I shall get off. And please, again, feel free to leave a comment if you have anything else. Would have been, so Bart said, would have been here sooner, but just woke up. Okay, so in future, would a little bit later on in the day be better? So if I started this in 50 minutes time, would that be better for some people? Just out of curiosity. Thank you, Bart says. Keep at it. Consistency is key. Thank you very much. I've been trying to really stick to the YouTube videos once a week and posting on my Instagram, I think 5 times a week, and as well as studying and basically just also getting comfortable in front of the camera, which I'm getting more and more comfortable, which is good. I still have a habit of looking at myself instead of the actual camera, but that will go with time. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go off and get something to drink, have a nice cup of tea, and I shall see you all either on Sunday or next week on my next live. Yeah, so leave a comment if you would prefer it to be at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock UK time. I think it's GMT. But yeah, thanks again for everyone that joined and watched. I shall see you all later. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and bye-bye for now.